Okay, let's just look at the completing the square. And we have the first example. Okay, that this is the equations of x squared plus 2x plus 2. So you can see that I used different color in these equations. I choose the blue color for the x squared and the 2x. Okay, I use the black color for the constant plus 2. Okay, and to do the completing the square, just imagine that we have the equations we separately. One is the word of the x, another one is the word of the constant. The next thing that you have to do is you have to identify the coefficients from the equations. Okay, the coefficients of x. Okay, from here you can see that coefficients of x, that is the number. Coefficients of x is referred to the number in front of the x. Okay, what you can see here is actually a number plus 2. So coefficients of x is plus 2. So you sub into here. So you are going to use this simple technique. Okay, so you have to use the plus a coefficient of x over 2 bracket square minus bracket coefficients of x divided by 2 and square. Okay, so you're going to use this one and you're going to sub into here. So you have a new line like this. Okay, so in the middle we will have a plus, we have a minus in terms of square. Okay, so the next thing is we're going to have we're going to do the completing the square here. So what you have here is you have the first is you're going to use the x from the x square, so you pull it here, so we have x. Okay, and then you look at the number. So the number you have 2 over 2. 2 over 2 is actually give you 1, so you just take the 1, put it here, and put a bracket and put a square for it. Okay, then we look at the number. So in here you have the number. So the number, okay, you plus that, you have 2 over 2 square, you have minus 1 plus 2, so you have a positive 1. So this is the answer for the completing the square for this example. So let's just go for the second example. For the second example, we'll use this small technique again in order to do the completing the square. So same thing. So I'm going to separate the equations. One is for the x side, and another one is for the constant side. Okay, so let's just look at the coefficients of the x. Okay, so what you have to do is identify the coefficient of x from this equation. So you can see here the number in front of the x is minus 5. So take this minus 5, sub it here, and sub it here, substitute into here. So and put this inside your equations. Okay, so put it inside your equations. You have minus 5 here, minus 5 here. Okay, and then now the next line is take the x from the x squared and take this number, because this number you cannot simplify. So we have minus negative 5 over 2, so just put it here and put the big square for the bracket. Okay, and for the constant at the back, so you have to simplify it. So you have negative 5 over 2 square. So square will give you 25 over 4. So we have negative 25 over 4 plus 2, that is give you negative 17 over 4. Okay, so this is the answer for example 2. Now go for the example 3. So for example 3, before you do the completing the square, try to factor out the 4 in front of the x square. Okay, so we try to make it like this. Okay, so we factor out the 4 from the x square. So you have x square only, and then you factor out the 4 from here. So we have minus x, and you factor out 4 from here, so you have 3 over 4. So we have this item this new equations and this new quadratic. After you have this new quadratic, then same thing, we focus on this new quadratic and we separate it, okay, into two different rows. The first one is just for the x, and another one is for the constant, and we identify what is the coefficients of x, okay, for us to substitute inside here. So from this new quadratic equations, you can see that the number in front of x is actually -1. So -1, you are going to substitute into here, then we will have the term that you substitute into the equation in the middle, right? Okay, so now pull the x from the x squared and pull the -1/2 from the back. So put a big bracket and put a square for it, and for the number at the back, so just plus that. So you have -1/2 square, it will give you 1/4. So we have -1/4 plus 3/4, then this give you plus 1/2. So now don't forget to write the 4, okay, and an answer from the computing the square, just put it inside another bracket. So we have the answer for the example 3.